Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm ccslcgamer, and as we all know, the official trailer for Mortal Kombat 2 got released this morning, and everyone has been blown up by so much of this stuff. So, for those of you who haven't seen the trailer yet, I'm just going to give you guys a little rundown of what they show in the trailer, and a few things that I've noticed about the characters that could shine some lights on what I've been thinking when I saw the live stream. So, the start of the trailer, we see Johnny Cage, Carl Urban, hanging out in a bar, and as the story goes, this Johnny Cage is going to be a bit of a washed up old actor, because ever since his films in the 90s got released, he's been in a downward spiral at this moment, so dealing with a bit of struggles. Then, after we see Johnny pulling a few posters of his old movies out of his car, one of them being Uncaged Fury, which is a little bit of the teaser that we got last night, we see Raiden and Sonya talking with Johnny and said that he's been chosen to fight. And something that blew my mind is, when you look at Raiden, he's actually wearing a suit that's similar to the way he is in the games. Because if you think of the first film, he didn't really seem like that at all. Just wearing like that big cloak and, well, I don't know how to describe it, but he didn't really dress the same way he did in the games in the first film, so that's a huge improvement. But Raiden opens a portal, and Johnny goes with him and Sonya to what looks like could be Raiden's Sky Temple, because this is like a temple that's up into the mountains, and that would make total sense, because you do know that the Sky Temple is like Raiden's home base, and this would be a good place for all the Earthrealm champions to practice. Then we cut to where Johnny meets Katanya, Adeline Rudolph, and you see them doing a little bit of training, and seems like at this point Katana would probably be like saying something like, "I could kill you if I wanted to, but it would be too easy." But something that did shook my mind a little bit is, during the live stream, she was shown as a champion of Outworld, but yet here she is training with Johnny Cage, so maybe there's some explaining to do. Like, is she strayed from Outworld and joined the Earthrealm Force, or is this gonna be like way later into the film, to where Katana would still be Princess of Outworld, but learns the truth about a few family things and then goes to seek out Raiden's help. Then we see a really good shot of Shao Kahn, who seems to be battling someone who is completely unknown to us, but you see that his hammer got broken in half, and he's using the bottom part to impale his opponent's hands and then cutting off his fingers, I believe. Yeah, it's something like that. You even see him get stabbed in the chest with the top part of his hammer, so that's very brutal. Then we see this awesome look at a stage fight where we see Liu Kang and Kung Lao, and a lot of people have been questioning about what Kung Lao is gonna be in this, because if you've seen the first film, you would know that he died in the first film, so it seems like this time he could be a Revenant. And if I could just pull up his character poster real quick. There we go. If you like look close to his face, you like see he's got scars on his like left side of his chin and like a few bruise marks around his eyes. I've also noticed some things rewatching this over and over. His armor and his hat don't look the same way they did in the first film. Like, if you look closely on his hat for his character poster, you would, like, notice that his hat design is a bit similar to the way it would, like, look in, I think, Mortal Kombat I, where he's got those, like, little daggers showing up at the top. It's something a bit like that. And also, his armor design does kind of look a little bit similar to the way he is in Mortal Kombat X and 11, where we actually see Kung Lao as a Revenant. Also, looking at Liu Kang, they're giving him a new color, because I've always known him to like be wearing white and black, but not full red. That's an interesting detail that I didn't notice until rewatching the trailer and checking his character poster. Because if you look closely at the designs, you like actually see more red than like brown. Or maybe it's like a brownish red type of color. At least that's what the type of color would look like in the poster. But in the trailer, it looks more like a bright red. So that's interesting. And a lot of people have been wondering, is Cole Young going to have a part in this? And then we cut to a little small scene where we see Johnny, Sonya, and Cole Young in the back. So all those people who love Cole Young, yes, he is going to be in there. And something that would surprise a lot of other people is we see Kano after he got stabbed in the eye from a gnome from Sonya. And we all been like questioning how could he still be alive? Because back when they announced that Josh Lawson was going to be returning as Kano, we thought he was going to like have his metal mechanized laser eye like he does in the games. But thinking back to the games, you like notice how Raiden like uses his powers to like heal people. Maybe that's what happened with Kano. They must have returned back to that old base, found Kano's body, and were kind enough to bring him back to life. Which I am kind of questioning their wisdom of doing that, because they do know that he actually betrayed them. So they're going to have to explain why they actually brought him back to life, even though Kano betrayed them. But after that, we see like this awesome look at Louis Tan as Cole Young, where he's like doing this to his armor, which is like causing that energy to like start powering up. But also looking at this background, it's all green, and there's like a cage door. A part of me want to guess we might be getting like the Deadpool in this. It was a stage that was in Mortal Kombat 9 and was also brought back into Mortal Kombat 11 for Aftermath. So, if that is really the Deadpool stage, then that will also be a really cool scene. But the question on who would be fighting in this. After that, we jump into the world of NetherRealm, where Scorpion lives. And then we see a awesome look at Jade from Tanti Gabrielle. And she looks really cool. But I wasn't expecting Jade to be hairless, because in all of the games that Jade has been in, she always had hair. So that's a bit of a new design, but I totally like it. And an awesome glowing green staff. That is a really good shot for Jade right there. We see Jax next, who I believe at first is fighting Jade when we see him. And then cut to a small scene where he's actually sparring with Liu Kang and Cole Young on the training grounds. Even Johnny Cage making a little joke about he doesn't have Terminator hands like him. So that's a pretty funny joke of the Terminator hands. Even Johnny mentioning he can't shoot lightning bolts like Raiden, and wondering why he's even being a part of this. But we do see a small snippet of Liu Kang and Shao Kahn, Martin Ford, and Louis Lin going toe-to-toe with each other, which that is the main thing of the Mortal Kombat games, is Liu Kang's destiny is to defeat Shao Kahn. So you bring Martin Ford as Shao Kahn into the film, you gotta have at least one fight scene with Liu Kang and Shao Kahn. And we get back to Johnny, where we see him from his younger self doing the same move that he did for one of his movies, but he ends up fighting Baraka. Now Baraka, it was a bit hard to admit the design when I saw this, because normally Baraka wouldn't have the full teeth from his cheeks to his mouth. It would just be the mouth and not going all the way around the cheeks. So that is a bit of a new design, but the costume itself still looks pretty cool. Also, something else that I noticed is Baraka is known to have those metal blades, but these ones, they're more wooden than metal. So they're going with the design for Baraka that all the other Tarkatans have, because the other Tarkatans have wooden ones, but Baraka is known to have metal ones, so that's a new design. Then you cut to a small fight where Johnny's fighting Baraka while doing some of that same movement that he does in the small teaser for Uncaged Fury, which totally gives away that Carl's doing his own stunts in this, which I think is really cool. Then we cut to the woods, where we see a small fight with Katana and Jade. So a little bit of a small fight between sisters there, because I think if Katana is part of Earthrealm, then Jade is still gonna be loyal to Shao Kahn, because if you've seen the live stream, she says, "I swore an oath to live as Shao Kahn's sword," which totally means that she would always remain loyal to Shao Kahn. So that totally makes sense of why she and Kitana would have a fight. Then we see a fight scene with Sonya going up against Sindel, Anathon Ugla, I believe that's her name. But something else that came to mind when looking at the posters and the trailer is when you look at the trailer, Sindel doesn't look like the way she is in the poster almost, because if I could just scoot this back a little bit. Because in the trailer, she doesn't seem to like have all those scars that she does in the poster, which is something to consider. But when looking at her, you like kind of see that Kung Lao kind of like had the same thing going on his face. So that did kind of also remind me, in Mortal Kombat 9, Quan Chi's the one that returned Sindel to life because she was dead at the beginning, but brought back to life to be evil. So maybe that could explain why she like has those same markings as like Kung Lao does with the eyes. But I'm sure Sindel's gonna turn out just good. We even cut to a small scene where we see Hanzo Hasashi, Ryoki Sandana, who appears in this picture as his human form before he passed away into the Netherrealm. But I wonder what that scene is going to be all about. Maybe he could be talking with Cole Young, because Cole Young is a descendant of Hanzo. Then we get to an awesome scene where we see Shao Kahn walking down the stairs in a very evil way. Must mean that he's really ready for battle. Could even see him with his glowing red lights for his eyes. And Johnny giving his little motto, "It's showtime." Then at the very end, we see Scorpion in action in the Netherrealm, and we see that he's fighting someone who turns out to be Bihan, Noob Saibot. And I gotta tell you, when they showed that poster for him, I just got so excited, because the design for Noob Saibot in the movie, it's actually the same costume design that they had for Noob Saibot in Mortal Kombat 11. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, like the mask looks so similar, and the armor plates that you like see him wear in the trailer itself, that's like actually the same type of armor that he wore in the game. And he even has those same weapons that he has in Mortal Kombat 11, like those small little hook swords. Scorpion does his famous catchphrase, "Get over here." with Noob Saibot creating a dark clone of himself that Scorpion brutally kills in a very awesome way. And the ending, we see the famous line of all of Mortal Kombat: "Finish him!" We see Kano going up against Noob Saibot and him pretty much telling Cage that he doesn't have powers, but just a lot of handsomeness. And that concludes the trailer. And this trailer was so awesome. They gave us so much details about what the story will really be about, and will most likely lead to the actual tournament itself, which I really can't wait to see in October. This movie's going to be awesome. But something that they didn't show was, it was announced in the casting that Quan Chi is going to be in this, but something that came to mind, you show Luke Kung Lao as a revenant in the film, but we know who is responsible for bringing Bi-Han and Kung Lao back to life. It was Quan Chi. Because in the games, when they both died, he returned them to life as revenants. Well, undead warriors. So maybe if they don't show Quan Chi in the actual movie itself, then the best case scenario would be to have Quan Chi be a post-credit, where maybe we get more deaths in the film, and we would probably see Quan Chi bring people who died back to life as revenants. So that's something to look forward to, but I cannot wait for this movie. Comment down below what you thought of the trailer if you've seen it already. And if you haven't seen the trailer, click on the tab for the trailer itself and see all the excitement that they're showing for us. And go down there, hit the thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time. See ya!